The theft of catalytic converters is on the rise in Portage County. More on how Streetsboro police plan on stopping car part theft.
Provisional data on drug overdoses is showing a new high in the U.S. More on the cause of this increase.
2 men accused in the murder of Malcolm X are to be exonerated. More on the case and what led to the change.
And last night, the Kent State men's basketball team played their first game at the MAC. Find out how it all went down and more as your Wednesday edition of TV2 News starts now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County. Thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with us. I'm Anna Louden.
And I'm Erin Sullivan.
We begin our coverage with how Kent State University is handling vaccine requirements for the university. TV2's Jason Cohen has more. Jason?
Thanks, guys. Kent State held a virtual town hall where university leaders answered questions related to the university's COVID-19 vaccine requirement. Leaders at the university met to discuss faculty compliance with the requirements.
In the event, however, that employees fail to cooperate along these lines, including just refusing altogether, that becomes, just like it would in the case of any case of non-compliance, something that needs to be addressed.
If you have an exemption for the vaccine, make sure you submit it. Your exemption is not guaranteed to be approved and may take up to 4 weeks to review. There will also be weekly PCR testing available again in the spring, which is especially important for those who are not vaccinated. If you are confused about how to upload your vaccination status, email vaccine@kent.edu for assistance. This may take a few days, so be proactive and do not wait until the last minute. Student compliance with the requirements was a topic of discussion during the town hall as well.
And we're defining what that discipline process looks like. We have not determined what the final process will be, but we are certainly taking a lot into consideration, as this is certainly unprecedented times. And so we do have the Office of Student Conduct who will process a lot of these conversations.
The why of why a person isn't complying is important for us to understand, because that's part of the educational process. However, there still is the requirement that exists. So it's not that it's not important. That's what some people jump to the conclusion of. It's that the compliance has been enacted, and so we're going to go forward with enactment.
December 20th is the deadline for all students, faculty, and staff to be fully vaccinated. It is unclear what the consequences will be for those who do not comply with the requirement, but TV2 will follow up and update accordingly. For more info, visit kent.edu/coronavirus. Reporting from the Franklin Hall studio, I'm Jason Cohen, TV2 News.
Kent State announced that the university will be making changes to its Title IX hearing process. The change will require individuals who file a formal complaint to be present at the live hearing and a cross-examination before a reaching decision. Title IX prohibits any form of gender-based discrimination, which includes sexual harassment, assault, domestic, and dating violence.
And Streetsboro police are working to stop the rise in catalytic converter theft across Portage County. Streetsboro City Hall was recently hit with 3 Ford Escapes being reported to have the car part missing on November 12th. Police say the cost to replace the part is about $200 to $1,000. The Streetsboro Detective Bureau is working with Macedonia and Sagamore Hills agencies to halt additional thefts.
Portage County deputies arrested a driver after discovering illegal drugs and a gun in his vehicle. The driver was pulled over on Stanley Road in Windham for a traffic violation. The driver attempted to flee officers but was stopped by their canine. The driver had several warrants out for their arrest in Kent. Ohio's weather is driving me crazy right now, but I do love it if there's some fluffy snow. Michael, please tell me that's going to happen again soon.
Sure thing, Erin. Luckily for you, we actually are going to be seeing some snow this week, although it won't be without its fair share of rain. Now, you will notice, taking a look over here, at today's temperatures, I'm sure many of you guys have noticed, it has felt amazing today. Mid-60s, not too much snow, it is cloudy out there, but overall the temperature has been feeling really great. And then as we move into this evening, it's going to stay warm. Surprisingly, it is going to be cloudy, not a lot of clear skies, but the temperature is feeling great, and it's only going to drop by 5 degrees by midnight. That's actually crazy, 60 degrees at midnight, although you will notice here, there is a 24% chance of precipitation, and that is kind of going to be foreboding, alluding to what's going to be happening later this evening and into tomorrow. But overall, this evening is going to be feeling really great. And then taking a look at the northeastern Ohio temperatures here, it's going to be kind of floating around the mid-60s to low 60s, a little bit warmer over here on the east side. 65 degrees, slightly colder over here on the west side, with Sandusky sitting at 61 degrees and Mansfield at 63. But overall, things are feeling great in Northeast Ohio. And yeah, that's all for me for right now. Make sure you stay tuned for your statewide and weekly temperatures. Back to you both at the desk.
Thanks, Michael. 2 of the 3 men convicted of the 1965 assassination of Malcolm X are expected to be exonerated Thursday by Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance, according to a report by the New York Times. A 22-month investigation conducted by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and lawyers for the 2 men, Muhammad A. Aziz and Khalil Assam, found that prosecutors and the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the New York Police Department withheld key evidence that would have likely led to their acquittal. According to the Times, the 2 men were known at the time of the killing as Norman 3 times Butler and Thomas 15 times Johnson. The story is still developing, and TV2 will continue to update you as the story progresses. And the Boston Hospital announced that they will be testing a new nasal vaccine to help prevent and slow Alzheimer's disease. The start of phase 1 of the trial comes after 20 years of research, and the trial will include 16 participants of people ages 65 through 80 with early symptomatic Alzheimer's but otherwise healthy.
They will receive 2 doses of the vaccine 1 week apart. The clinic trial is designed to establish safety and dosage for potential new medication. If it goes well, a much larger trial will be needed to test its effectiveness. Concerning data on drug overdoses in the U.S., TV2 has updates coming up.
And flu season is here, how the U.S. is preparing for an outbreak, coming up after the break.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again. But an awkward silence can be a great thing, like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Occupational and Safety Administration has paused the requirement for workplaces with over 100 employees to require COVID-19 vaccinations and mandatory testing. OSHA's paused emergency temporary standard would require employers to develop and implement a mandatory vaccination policy unless unvaccinated employees remained masked and had regular testing. This comes after the Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit decision that permits OSHA from enforcing these safety standards until further court notice.
In the U.S., Centers for Disease Control and Prevention published provisional data on drug overdoses today. According to the report, overdose deaths topped 100,000 during a 12-month period. For the first time, researchers say the new record is being driven by opioid abuse.
Synthetic opioids, primarily fentanyl, caused nearly 2/3 of all drug overdose deaths in a 12-month period that ended April of this year. The report found overdose deaths jumped 28.5% when compared to the same period a year earlier. Experts say the pandemic is a key contributor to the rising of overdose death toll.
And the National Academy of Medicine released a series of reports today that suggest the world is currently not ready to deal with an influenza pandemic like the one in 1918. The flu killed 50 million to 100 million people through 1919 during that pandemic. Researchers say right now we are woefully underprotected against that scale of threat. They recommend countries start developing next-generation vaccines and build up capacity levels in poor and middle-income nations.
The Food and Drug Administration is considering the company's request to amend its emergency use authorization. One FDA director says the issue is its highest priority.
The spokesperson for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says they will meet this Friday to discuss expanding booster eligibility. If the FDA greenlights the change, the next step would require the CDC director to sign off on the plan.
India's Supreme Court is calling for residents in New Delhi to go into lockdown due to hazardous air pollution. The court ordered a ban on non-essential travel and to close offices and schools, causing millions to work at home. New Delhi officials are urging neighboring states to do the same to improve air quality.
Welcome back, everyone. So let's move out here and see how the temperatures are looking across the state now, shall we? So just like Northeast Ohio temperatures, across the state, things are actually looking very similar. So kind of floating around the mid-60s here all across the state, with the outlier being Lima up there sitting at 61, just a little bit cooler, but overall the temperatures are looking great all across the state, which is great to see. And then taking a look at the radar here, you may have remembered what I said earlier about the 24% chance of precipitation this evening, and here it is. So as of right now, as you can see, things are looking very clear. It looks good, but then you're gonna notice the precipitation coming in from the west there. So things are gonna be pretty clear up until about midnight, and then once we hit 1 o'clock, you're probably gonna start to see, 1 o'clock a.m., you're probably gonna start to see the rain start to come in. So just be prepared for that, because there is gonna be a considerable amount of rain tomorrow. Like there, you see it's 92%, so almost guaranteed, and the temperature is going to drop by like 20 degrees, so 65 to 45, that's pretty substantial, so just be prepared for that change. And then as we move into this weekend here, going to be getting a little bit of sun there on Friday, and then as we move into the weekend, we're going to be getting some rain on Sunday, so it is going to be coming back here. Just be prepared for that. We are going to be having some pretty considerable lows here across the week, and then a little bit of snow there on Monday, which is fun to see. And then we're going to be closing the week off with A little bit of sun here on Wednesday, but overall things are looking pretty good across the state. But prepare for more snow in the future because it is definitely going to be coming. All right, that is all I have for you, Portage County. This has been Michael Vicario, your Wednesday newscast weather anchor. To keep up with all things Kent weather, visit KentWire.com. Remember to stay warm and safe out there. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Michael. A new Ghostbusters movie is headed to theaters this weekend. Rick Damigella has a look at the history of the movie series.
There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years. New York in the 80s, it's like The Walking Dead.
37 years after the original movie phenomenon took the world by storm, the Ghostbusters are headed back to theaters. But how did these paranormal investigators and eliminators get to this point?
Ghostbusters.
Hey, anybody see a ghost? 1984 was a big year for movies, which included the summer release of Ghostbusters. The supernatural comedy went on to become the top-grossing film of the year.
All right, suck in the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters.
1989 saw the release of Ghostbusters 2. The sequel didn't do quite as well as the original, making less than half what its predecessor did. Sony attempted a franchise reboot in 2016. That Ghostbusters cost a reported $144 million and only grossed $128 million at the North American box office, according to IMDb.
My grandfather died. My mom says we're just here to pick through the rubble of his life.
5 years later, Ghostbusters Afterlife, directed by original Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman's son Jason Reitman, heads to theaters following multiple release delays due to the pandemic. Afraid of no ghosts in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Who you gonna call? Some friends? Head to the theaters because Ghostbusters Afterlife begins haunting movie theaters this Friday, November 19th. And Lindsay Lohan is making her return to a screen near you. Find out what film the famous actress will be in coming up.
The Golden Flashes men's basketball team took on Oberlin College last night at the MAC. See how Kent State fared right after this.
I can't speak. Who's gonna do the commercial if I can't speak?
I mean, I think the obvious decision is that I'm going to be the voice. I am, you know, an ex-theater major.
Whatever, an ex-theater major. I am a theater major.
I have a theater performance minor. Mine is just as important.
I bring the entertainment to this show, so go ahead.
Obviously, it should be me, because ain't nobody as fierce as I am.
Oh, no. It should be me, because I'm a freshman. And obviously, freshmen are more important, right?
No, it should be us, because we're the oldest.
Exactly. And we have Andy Joe. Hello.
Everybody wait. The only voice that should end this commercial is the College Voice, Fridays at 2 p.m. Now say it with me.
Watch the College Voice on Fridays at 2 p.m.
I gotta tell Michaela.
What? Oh my gosh!
That you would not believe.
Oh, the blurb's on at 9 on Tuesdays.
Kent State's most generous annual tradition, Giving Tuesday, is here. Golden Flashes are known for giving back, and this month, your generosity goes even further with matching gifts, incentives, and challenges. Join in by supporting the fund that matters most to you. At Kent State, what sets us apart is how we come together.
And now, TV2 Sports Report.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Matt Corrali, and here is what's happening in the wide world of sports. The Kent State men's basketball team had their home opener last night at the Mack Center, welcoming in Division III Oberlin College in their final exhibition game of the year and routing the Yemen by the final of 84-38. Two Golden Flashes scored a team-high 14 points as redshirt juniors Malik Jacobs and Sincere Carey found the basket often for Kent. KSU dominated the first half, putting up 51 points and ending the half on an impressive 19-0 run. The Golden Flashes will tip off regular season play in the Naples Invitational against James Madison on Monday at noon. The Kent State volleyball team will host the Ohio Bobcats tonight at the Mack Center as they will highlight 3 student athletes on senior night. Following the contest, Hannah Johnson, Melissa Kohler-Busha, and Danny Tyson will be honored in front of the Flashes faithful in Kent's final regular season game of the year. But first, they will have to face a Bobcats team that come in winners of 5 of their last 6 games, including a 5-set victory over Mac East Division champion Bowling Green. For updates on tonight's game, make sure to follow the volleyball team on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Kent State Volleyball. In pro sports news, the Cleveland Cavaliers are having an impressive start to their season as they've been shocking many around the NBA. They have beaten the likes of 7 teams that made the playoffs a year ago and currently have a 9-6 record and sit at 5th in the Eastern Conference standings. However, for Cleveland, they will have one of, if not their biggest tests of the year thus far as they head to Brooklyn to face Kevin Durant, James Harden, and the Nets. You can watch how it all goes down tonight at 7:30 on Bally Sports Ohio. Well, that will wrap things up with us from sports. For more TV2 sports content, you can tune into Sports Corner every Monday night at 8 o'clock, live streaming right here on KentWire.com. For TV2 Sports, I'm Matt Corrali, and I'll see you right here next Wednesday at 6. Good night.
A Jeopardy fan favorite has landed a new game show. Stay with us for the details.
Every one of us has a voice, and every voice has the power to shape the world. Ours is no different. Our voice is 85 years in the making, a voice that's more than 700 students strong, one of the largest in the nation. It's 10 different award-winning media partners sharing 34 outlets, all working united toward a common goal. Our voice reaches 30,000 households on TV, over 22,000 magazine readers per year, 500,000 newspapers, feature films in stores nationwide. Our voice is pride in what we do. It empowers students, emerging professionals, to ask tough questions and demand answers. We believe in our voice. We believe in its ability to change the world. And our voice makes us who we are.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Wizard, roll for deceasedness.
My Dark Wizard casts Super Fireball.
The wizard has only rolled an 8.
What? This is garbage! Spell.
No way a roll like that doesn't hit a level 1
I
goblin.
have
Are
7.
you serious? You gotta be kidding
Oh
me.
my God.
I have
What is
It's
going
just a
on?
baby goblin.
Cease your quarreling, children.
What?
What are you doing, you crazy monster?
Nanny?
Oh my
What? You should stop being nerds and playing D&D and be nerds and watch All Systems Go Wednesdays at 9, where we talk everything from movies, games to anime and more.
Yeah,
No,
seems
yeah.
reasonable.
Go watch All Systems Go.
Jeopardy fan favorite LeVar Burton will be hosting a new television game show known as Trivial Pursuit. When Jeopardy began looking for a new host, many fans wanted Burton to take over. Burton has been a household name in pop culture from his humble beginnings starring in Roots, Reading Rainbow, and Star Trek. Creator of the Trivial Pursuit board game, Hasbro and Entertainment One are currently shopping the show around.
And Lindsay Lohan is making her comeback, and some might say it's a Christmas miracle. The Mean Girls actress is set to star in a holiday-themed romantic comedy on Netflix. However, the movie is set to release next holiday season. The movie will portray Lohan as a hotel heiress who finds herself being taken care of by a lodge owner after suffering amnesia during a skiing accident. The film has yet to be named.
And Staples Arena will be getting a new name, the Crypto.com Arena. The downtown Los Angeles venue will wear a name for a 20-year deal between the Singapore Cryptocurrency Exchange and AEG Crypto.com, paid over $700 million for the naming rights, making it one of the biggest naming deals in sports history. The arena's new logo will appear on December 25th during a Los Angeles Lakers basketball game.
And on this day in history, the movie Twilight premiered in Los Angeles. The film stars Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. The book series by Stephanie Meyer was such a major success, spawning a 4-film saga. The movie series made $3 billion at the box office from 2008 to 2012.
Were you guys Twilight watchers?
I was not, personally, no.
Michael?
I myself wasn't, but what I will say is every time I hear about it, all I can think about is my cousin who's really into it.
I definitely saw it in the theaters, but I wouldn't say I was like a fan, unlike you.
I was a huge fan. I had the posters in my room and everything, but I never saw a movie. So take that for what you will. I was weird at 8.
I feel like I remember it like I was like 12. Like, how old were we? 12?
I was younger, but...
That is all we have for you. Thanks so much for spending your Wednesday evening with us. For updates on these stories and more, follow us on social media at Kent Wired.
And check out our website, kentwired.com. I'm Erin Sullivan.
And I'm Anna Louden. For the last Wednesday before Thanksgiving, happy Hump Day, Portage County, and have a great night.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Myth. If you get COVID-19, you'll recover after a few days. That myth is false. We're only just beginning to understand the effects of COVID-19 on the human body, as we're starting to see more and more people identifying as long haulers who are having symptoms for weeks, if not months, after their initial infection. Continue to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands. Together, we can keep COVID out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes. I
Right?
mean, like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know?
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did you?
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Smokey.